So wax on, yeah. So sometimes you have to do boring things. So let's have a quick go. Let's just write it out at least once. Just copy out the words just to make sure that you can copy it out. Again, this is not a writing class. I'm not asking for perfect khat, perfect calligraphy. Let's just copy out. Just ask you to copy out those two things, and then we'll move on. Just do at least one example, inshallah. Just write, where underneath A, just copy the same thing. Exactly, without tashkil, yeah. So that when you're first looking at Arabic without harakat, it looks crazy. Like, how could you possibly read that, right? But it becomes obvious, right? So Farsi, the same thing. It's like, oh yeah, I just know the word, so then I know that means this, right? So it's the same thing, right? Okay. Anybody does not have it, or the so the first table to complete it gets $50. Inshallah, for next week we're gonna get some. Sure we can get an app or a thing for the buzzers. Inshallah, we're gonna get it. Have some competition. Yeah. So just make sure your sad doesn't go below the line. So just write it here. Right, you can imagine there's a dotted line here. The ra is going to go beneath. So these are not going to go beneath. Okay? Okay? So this ra can go down, but this cannot go down beneath the line. Huwa, the wow can go down. Here's my dotted line. Ledger line. Huwa, right? This is going to go down, but the ha is not going to go down. Okay. Everyone's finished? Anybody still? Finished? Yes. Okay, so whoever's finished, just go on to number 2 then, fill in the blanks. Should be easy, inshallah. You don't have to do the tracing of it. It's all right. Just fill in the blanks. All they're going to ask you to do is basically where is the word that's missing in the English, and then where is the word that's missing in the Arabic, etc.
For me to drag the screen into HDMI4, drag the window to the right place. Yeah, if I did, it doesn't go there though. It doesn't go there. Was not plugged in. Oh, HDMI4 cable. Okay.
Okay. Who's still on exercise number 1? Oh, sorry, exercise number. Yeah, who's still on exercise number 1?
Green and black and white.
Everyone's finished number 1. Great. Okay. So let's quickly let's do number 2. This is fill in the blanks. Put the missing vowels in the Arabic. You asked you to do 2 things. You're going to put this word, for example, si, ra, so the kasra here and a fatha here.
Yeah,
right?
Somehow when
this word is huwa, there's a dhamma here and a fatha here. Right? This is all they're going to ask you to do.
Not mirroring.
So if you look at the first one, it says fill in the blanks. Put the missing vowels in the Arabic. So it says he is space believer, and then ha wow mu'minun.
Yeah.
Right? So obviously it's huwa
Let me try not.
mu'minun. Okay?
Yeah.
And so what is the missing word on 2I or 2-1, sorry? A. Okay? He is a believer. So how do we say A in Arabic? There's no A in Arabic, right? Good. is it possible to say, I saw one man? Could you say that? Yeah. You could throw in that word, right? I believe last week we mentioned with the Farsi, you said, was it nafar, right? That means one man. But if you just said nafar, that means a man, right? You already means a, right? If you want to specifically make it one, you can put in the word wahid, one, right? But otherwise, it's already a. Okay. Okay, number two. So there's number two. There's nothing to fill in there. Hada siratun. There's nothing hidden. There's all the harakat there. All the tashkil is there. But what's the translation? That is a path, right? So with me, guys, this is British. If you walk in the store, it's British English. It's not hair or hayya, right? It's path and bath and grass. Okay.
This one?
And jolly good and whatnot, right? These are the words we need to use. Okay, and path. Okay, هذا. Okay, good. So this is a path. هذا صراط. Okay, and then the next one. Well, good. So how? So so this is an example. This is what it means when reading Arabic without fatha dhamma kasra. You just saw the word siratun on the previous line, like this. Then they give you the same word without it underneath. So obviously I don't need to put the tashkil in because I know what you're talking about. That's all it is. It's just it's understood, right? Somebody puts the word, for example, P S S W R D. You're like, how could you possibly read that? But we all know, oh, password. Because we know that in your mind you have an image, password, and you're familiar with it. So that's how you read in Arabic. Everything's like that. My name is like, huh? So yeah, if you know my name, Farid Dingle, then Farid Dingle. That's just how you write it. Okay.
Yep.
So it's just a code that you already, as long as you know the system, you can read it. Right. Now it gets confusing when there's two possibilities. Did you say this or did you say this? That's when it gets confusing. Okay. So what was the translation then? This. Okay. هذا صراط. This. Okay. Good.
It doesn't say anything.
Yes.
Does the path has the timing just like the other?
Yes. صراط مستقيم. Correct. صراط مستقيم. Okay, good. That's number three. Number four. Mm-hmm.
Because I can see my mouse
Good.
over there. See my mouse over there?
Who Allah.
Yeah,
Who?
but the thing won't go there. See it?
And the translation is?
But
It is Allah. And so why don't you translate it as it is Allah?
Yeah, that's a pretty part. You can go there.
Why don't you use the word it?
Maybe there's a.
Who, it's the same, right? So
No.
again, in English, you go like, okay, why are you specifically making God a male? But I'm not. Just in Arabic, it's either masculine or feminine grammatically, right?
Yeah, no?
But I'm not saying it's this or that, right?
Okay.
Okay, great. That was super easy. Okay, and then put in hada, which means
Like this?
ready. Somebody from the back. Hada. This and dhalika means that. Okay, good. So let's put in the words in here. So it says fill in the blanks hada and dhalika in the blank spaces. So that is a great
Okay, I
success.
guess- Yeah.
This is a noble messenger. This is a reminder.
just do this for
That
now.
is a better.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Kareem means generous and noble. We're recording.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I'm just trying to get the screen on my back.
I didn't understand that he was saying. Okay. Okay, Bismillah. So let's some other tables. You guys are still learning. It's difficult, I understand. Okay, this table, Bismillah, number one. كذلك فوز فوز yes Suleiman
هذا
هذا رسول كريم هذا رسول كريم okay good so this is that's Rasulun Karimun. This is a reminder. هذا ذكر هذا ذكر good and then somebody else ذلك خير good right. Yeah, every single word ends with something. Okay, so my name is not Farid. My name is Faridun, Dan, or Din, depending how you say it. Right? So this is هذا عبد الرزاق. And I walked past Abdur Razzaq. And I saw Abdur Razzaq. When I'm calling him, I say Abdur Razzaq. So it will change from Abda, do, D. Every single sentence. Right? Every single sentence. Just like there's always pressure on something. Right? Every single physical object, there's pressure on it. There's pressure on this here. It's being pushed down. There's such thing as an object without pressure on it. Right? Unless it's in space, it's in a vacuum. Right? But anything, so all words are being pushed by something or pushed by something else. Right? There's always a continued interaction. And so we see that sometimes we see it and sometimes we don't. In Arabic, by default, you will see it. This will be pushed into this or pushed into that, and it will always have an ending. It doesn't just have nothing. That doesn't exist. Muhammadun, Muhammadin, Muhammadan. One of the three, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's pronunciation. You're talking about the idgham and things like that, where it connects. Yeah, so that's just pronunciation, right? How you actually pronounce it, right? There's things like idgham and ikhfa. How do you pronounce this thing from that thing, right? Yeah, so if you wanted to speak 100% proper Arabic, you would do that. You would do that. Like I would say things like this. How do I say, for example, أنا فريد. Like it was qalqala. Like I'm speaking proper Arabic. That's how I would do it, right? But yeah, and I know some people would speak with tajweed, but so we're just kind of being a bit loose about it. That's all. But otherwise, yes, that's how you would do it. Right? Like how perfect do you want to be? Right? I'll give you an example. I'm British, right? So how do I say water? How do we say it?
No, water.
Right. So it depends. Water is like I'm talking to my friend. Water, I'm in an interview. So I'm never going to pronounce the R at the end because I'm British. So the R's gone, right? Goodbye. But it's either water or water, depending on. So then they'll say, what's the proper way of saying it? It's like, well, what's the context? Do you want me to speak? I'm on the radio. Okay, so the water, the T comes out, right? So how accurate do you want to be? So now it's like, okay, I want you to do it properly. Okay, I'm reading Quran now. I'm going to speak properly as I would on TV. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he taught us how to read Arabic properly. And they noticed, wow, he's saying the letters very clearly like this, right? Aisha radiallahu anha, she said, he wouldn't eat his words like you do, right? It's like, because this is revelation, and if I eat my words, you're not going to know what I'm saying, right? And one word will change into another word. All right, I'll give you an example. Favorite British word is bloody, right? We're like, oh, bloody weather, bloody Americans, right? That's how we speak in England, right? You know what that word means? What does bloody mean? It means like bad, right? Bloody weather means the darn weather. That's American, right? The darn weather, right? But that's not what it means at all. Originally, 500 years ago, it was written like this. B''L''dy. Got nothing to do with blood whatsoever. By the Lady Mary. So that's what it used to be. So imagine if that was revelation. Like, okay, this person is swearing by, quote unquote, the mother of God, right? They would say. That's revelation. But now I've lost it and you don't even write it like that. So in the Quran came and said, no. We cannot lose revelation. We're not Christians, we're not Jews. This is the last revelation to mankind. It has to be exactly like this. So don't say Farid, say Farid. And it's going to be different if you're going to stop in the middle of the sentence and the end of the sentence. That's tajweed. Unbelievable accuracy to guarantee 100% preservation of every single tiny thing in Revelation, as opposed to who cares about English? That disappeared, right? So what you're asking about is tajweed, and yes, that is relevant, it's important, and we do study it, but we're just not that pedantic about it. Yeah, only when you want to speak properly, right? Only when you want to speak proper,
And they're like,
right?
sometimes they don't recite
Yeah.
it, and they
Yeah.
say it.
So that's what we do. So, okay. Okay, guys. Bismillah, we did that. That was easy. ذلك خير. Okay, guys. I'm giving you 10 seconds to do number 4. Done already? Oh, man. Okay. Okay, guys. Fingers on the buzzers then. Bismillah. Question number A. 4A. Or for the first one. A forgiving sustainer. Yes, Mika. Handsome man in the back with no book, no pen. Time is up. Oh, mashallah. Don't put your hand up. Okay. Yes. Rabbun ghafurun, right? Good. Which means a? Good. So Rabb doesn't mean God. Yeah, Rabb means the one who's looking after you. Okay, the one who's looking after you. Okay, good. Anybody else? This table? So on the women's side, they ask, don't pick out certain people. Right? I'm going to particularly pick out certain people. Right? You guys are men. You're in the workplace. The whole life is stress and concentration, right? So there's no rest, no exception. Yeah. Okay, listen at this table. One God, ilahun wahidun. So notice I say ilahun wahidun. Right? The brother says no, it's ilahu wahidun. Like, which is right then? It's like, well, how accurate do you want to say it, right? Right. If you ask an Afghan, is it neist or neist? Neist? Was it neist? Okay. So you go and ask somebody in Iran, they're like, no, it's neist. Okay, well, which is real Farsi? They're like, well, real Farsi is in Afghanistan. No, real Farsi is in, right? What's the real thing, right? Alhamdulillah. British people, be careful. They come to divide and conquer, right? So be careful. Make distinction. Okay, good. So ilahan wahidun. This is an awesome day. What does that actually mean in English? Right? So Australians, they work with Australians, are like, everything's awesome. Awesome. Right? It's like, what's happening today? Nothing. Just awesome. Right? Right? Or it's not. What does awesome mean? It means good. Is it good? Is it positive or negative? Positive in American, in colloquial American, but it's not. Right? Awesome and awful are the same thing as from the word awe, which is like, oh my God, I'm going to die today. That's awe, right? So you get, for example, you look at a beautiful picture of a lion and say, wow, that's a beautiful animal. And then you get closer, it's like, wow. And you get closer and it's like, it's roaring from your face. It's like, so even if you're strong, you're going to be shaking. You can't, So you just know about hellfire. Even if you're the prophet and you know you are never going to go to hellfire, you're still dead scared. That's what awesome means, right? It doesn't mean awesome, dude, right? It means awesome is you're in awe of it. Like, oh my God, I'm scared. That's azim, right? Yawmun azim does not mean great, right? Okay, so this is an awesome day. Hada yawmun azimun. Okay, and a noble messenger. Rasulun Kareemun. And this is a wise command. Good. Okay, so now let's quickly, let's not write them out because it takes too much time, but let's quickly do number 5. Oh, just let's copy it out. Skip that one, okay? Number 6A, a noun is. You can skip that. Number B, an example of a pronoun in English. You can give an example of a pronoun in English. He, she. Like we're in California, guys. Come on. He, she, they. Right? Me, guys. Right, you're gonna get. You should have a bit more, right? G. That's a pronoun. Wow. Wow. Yes. Ziza, ready? Right. Okay, great. Alhamdulillah. Okay, one a pronoun in Arabic, 2 pronouns, or 1 pronoun that we've seen so far in Arabic. Huwa. Good. And hiya, not hayya. Hiya. Hiya. Right, you're speaking Muslim. Right. Okay. An adjective. In Arabic, where does the adjective come? You say tall man or man tall in Arabic? Man tall. That's how you say. Right. A man tall, not a tall man. Great. Let's skip that. Okay, let's go on to unit 2 then. So unit 2, basically copy and paste of unit 1. We're going to go back to the textbook. So if you can, I don't know if it's on the same, if it's on the same, oh, I have it, right? If you go, so this is that's the workbook. Yeah, that's just the workbook, okay? Okay. So who has a print of the textbook? Nobody. Okay, it's just going to come up now then, inshallah. Okay. So anyway, let me just start. Unit 2 is just copy and paste of unit 1. Unit 1 spoke about gender, right? And we did masculine. We said huwa. So all he's going to do now is introduce another word, which is hiya. What do you think hiya means? She, right? That shouldn't be too confusing, even for Californians, right? We're going to have the word hiya, which means she, or so huwa meant he or it, so hiya is going to mean she or it if the thing is feminine. So I'm going to say, where is the car? Hiya hunaka, it is over there, right? Which means she is over there. I'm referring to a lady, I'm referring to a car, it's the same thing, right, in a man's world. Okay? Just laughing. But it's not to say that the car is female, just because it's grammatically female. Where the tree, it is tall. Hiya tawila, right? And we use the word hiya. I'm not trying to say that the tree looks like a female. I'm just saying it's grammatically female, grammatically feminine. So hiya is that, okay? Now, we said that words by default are masculine or feminine, okay? They are masculine. So therefore, the non-default is it's feminine. So then I ask the question, how would I know that it is not masculine then? I say, well, because it has a ta marbuta. Okay, ta marbuta on it. So a word ends like this, you say that must be feminine. Okay? So هذا هاتف. This is a phone. هذه محفظة. A محفظة is a wallet, right? So محفظة ends in a ta marbuta. شجرة ends in a ta marbuta. Fatima ends in a ta marbuta. Any name, anything that ends in a ta marbuta is going to be feminine, and I'm going to use this pronoun with it. If I say it is this, I'm not going to say huwa, I'm going to say hiya. Okay? And yes.
So let's say if there's like a group of guys, and actually like a group or like a mix, like group of men and women, and if you want to refer to that group.
I'm going to use the word they, but I'm not there yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so with they, and I'm going to refer to them as masculine, yeah, but we're not there yet. Okay, okay, so that's that. And then we're going to have, which meant, so then we have the word hadihi, okay, which means this, okay? So this is the feminine version of hada, okay? So I'm writing at a strange angle here, might look a bit strange. This is also this. So what is the difference between hadihi and hada? What's the difference? Masculine, feminine. They're the same word. It means the same thing. But this is when I'm referring to something feminine, and it's referring to something masculine. And seldom will I use this for a person. You don't say, for example, ma hada, and refer to a person like that. That's not very nice, right? You might even use it as an insult in Arabic. You say, yeah, hada, oh this. Like, you're not even a person, you're an object. Like, you're annoying me or whatever. It's a kind of, that's not nice. Like, you could use that for, usually you do this for something. So hadihi means this. Hada means this. This is feminine. This is masculine. Okay? And then we have the word dhalika, which meant what? Dhalika meant that. Okay? And then we have tilka, which means that as well. Tilka. Okay? Which means that. So what's the difference between that and that? One is masculine, one is feminine. That's all. Okay? Simple as that. That is the whole unit. Almost the whole unit. Okay? Now, we said if a word does not have a ta marbuta, what do I assume about it? Masculine. Right? So in my mind, I have a search engine. It goes default masculine. Okay, does it have a ta marbuta? No, therefore it's masculine. Okay, so therefore a word like nafs, which means soul, or a word like harb, which means war. Soul or self, yeah, soul, yeah. Harb, which means war. Dar, which means house. Okay. Another word for it. Ard, earth. Okay, earth, ard. Okay. You would assume these words are. What would you assume? Assume, right? So you say, هذا أرض. This is an earth. هذا نفس. هذا حرب. هذا دار. And you'd be wrong. You say, well, that doesn't make sense. You just said that a word that has a ta marbuta is feminine. I'm not going to use hiya and هذه. And if a word is masculine, it's going to have no ta marbuta. And it's going to say هذا and huwa. You say, yes. Okay, well then why doesn't it work? Oh, these are exceptions. We're like, oh man. Okay, how many exceptions are there? A handful, 20 maybe, 20 words like that. These are exceptions. Okay, so there are certain words that you're going to have to memorize. Okay, like these words. You say ad-darul akhirah, not ad-darul akhir. Okay, ad-darul akhirah, right? هذه حرب, right? You say حرب أهلية, a civil war, not ahli. These are words that have no ta marbuta, but yet they're feminine. They are feminine anyway. So these words, nafs is feminine. هذه نفس, this is a soul. هذه حرب, this is a war. هذه دار, this is an abode. هذه أرض, this is a land. So these words are feminine, and there's some other words on the list as well that are feminine, even though there's no sign. Why? Because it's on a list of exceptions. Okay. And then I'm going to put some other words that are kind of systematic. Words like yedon, okay, yed, or qadam. What another thing? Ain. Okay, and these are body parts that come in pairs. Any body part that comes in pairs will be feminine. So ain means an eye. Means an eye. Yad means a hand. Okay, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Most of us are blessed with 2 hands, 2 feet, and 2 eyes. Foot. Okay? So you're going to say هذه قدم. This is a foot, not هذا قدم. And we treat it as feminine. هذه يد. This is a hand. هي يد. It is a hand. Right? هذه عين. This is an eye. And use it as feminine, even though there's no sign. Right? And the rule is a body part that comes in pairs. Right? Any body part that comes in pairs would be like that. Okay? So we had the word nafs, which meant soul or ego. Has both sense. Ard, which means earth. Okay? Harb, which means war, fire, war. Okay? Dar, which means house. But here's an issue. Bait. What does bait mean? House. So what's the difference? This is very important. When you go home, you don't live in a bait, because you live in a very large house. Your house is not one room. So a one-roomed house is called a bait because it's the place that you spend the night. That's called your bait. The place that you spend the night is called a bait. Bati abitu means to spend the night. So that's a bait. If you live in a house with more than one room, right? Or like in Afghanistan, you have like the qal'a thing system, right? You have like the houses within a kind of compound, right? That's called dar, right? Dar. And from the word dar yaduru, to go around, like daira, you know a daira, right? That's called a circle. So the idea that you're gonna have this whole compound where this is our kind of clan, or this is our family, right? This is where we are. You can't come in here, right? So that's called a dar. So this is called dar dunya, the closer or lower realm or abode, and that's called dar al-akhirah, right? As opposed to bait, which means a room. The next time you go home, you're like, do I live in a bait or do I live in a dar? So you live in a dar. You don't live in a bait, because you have more than one room in your house. Alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. the Prophet ﷺ lived in, right? The Prophet ﷺ lived in, right? That's a big, it's kind of fun. So when he's praying tahajjud, what did Aisha radiallahu anha, she said, I have to bring my feet in, right? The next time you see somebody living in an RV or living in a tent, say, who's on the sunnah, he or me? Right? Serious question, a real question to ask, right? It's a real question to ask. I know we're doing Arabic, but Arabic is for the point of deen, right? A question, if the Prophet ﷺ was alive here in California, right, how would he live? Would he live in a house or would he live in a tent? Right? So I have to get a job like this because I have to rent a house like this. Okay, but you can't live in a trailer park? No, of course not. Why not? I can't do that. Why? Right? This is how the dunya eats you. Right? The dunya eats you. There's certain things that now you can't. I have to live like that. I have to have internet. Of course, how can I live without internet? Right? How can I live without AC? That's crazy. Oh, it's too hot in California to live without AC, right? Like it'd be very difficult. What about Saudi Arabia? Right? So you live in a house with no AC, no flowing water, no internet, no electricity, and your house is this big. Right? And that's why the Prophet said it's enough for the son of Adam to have a house that covers him, right? And to have a piece of bread and a bit of water. That's enough. But then what happens is you come to California. Wow, work opportunity, right? And then wow, it's expensive here, right? That's what happens. Wow, the money, and then wow, how expensive it is. That's what happens. Anybody comes to California, right? And then you get caught up, and then well, I can't. How could you possibly rent your whole life? That's crazy, right? If you're gonna rent every whole life in California, how much money are you gonna spend? Do I have to buy, right? But notice how you get caught in. I have to buy now. Well, then I have to have a salary like this. And then if I have to have a salary like this, what's happening with my kids? My kids have to get these grades, and then what were you doing your whole life? Fall after something. If you have a niyyah, that's fine. If you have a niyyah, that's great. But if you don't have a niyyah, you're chasing something you don't even need. The Prophet lived in basically a room, right? So it would be like the equivalent of like $500, depending on the place, $500 rent. That's his rent, right? Which you can make fairly easily in California. Not that difficult to make $500 plus $500 for food. You're just going to go to the masjid and get some water, and that's okay, and you have a bucket. But I can't live like that. That's crazy, right? So is that the dunya that's eating us, or is that something else? It's a question. I'm not trying to say anything. It's a question, right? It's a question to think about. Okay, so that's pretty easy, guy. Where are we? We here? Yeah, go ahead.
Basically, for the sound of that, you mentioned the 1, 2, 3, 4 words, and the other ones that talk about timing, something.
Yeah, these are body parts that come in pairs. That's the system. Any body part that comes in pairs. So udhun, ear, eye, ainun, yadun, yadun, hand. Right. Similarly, so this is actually your yad in Arabic. Right, this is your yad. It's like hand/arm. But dhira' as well, also in feminine, is what you're front here. Your adad, your upper arm is also yes. A word, so with exception of these short list of words, every single word that's generally in Arabic, every single word that's feminine will have a sign on it, and that sign by default is ta marbuta. Fatima with a ta marbuta. Yeah. No, because that means Fatim. That doesn't make any sense. So that would be masculine now. You've now referred to a boy called Fatim. Yeah. Right. So Farid, Farida. If you just took off the term marbuta, it's become a boy now. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense now. You're referring to a boy now. Yeah. That's correct. Like Zainab, Maryam. Yeah, but Zainab is only used for female, so we know that. But the thing is, so these words, so Zainab is a name, but like Fatima is not really a name. Fatima means the girl that has stopped breastfeeding. So in Fatima means you've weaned it, the baby stopped having milk, right? So you have these names. They used to name their children because children would die regularly. It's a normal thing to have children would die, as in the pre-modern world. Half of your children will die in the first year or so. That's normal. So you have names like Shayba, gray-haired one. You say, inshallah, he will live through the whole age. So why, Aisha, the one that will survive. You name your baby the one that will survive, right? Yazid, the one who will increase. Omar, the one who will live for a long time, right? You have all these names because it was normal for kids to die, right? So again, if you think about our lives, very, very important, the California lifestyle. You live in a castle with luxuries that Fir'aun didn't have. Your children don't die, right? Whereas that's normal life throughout the world. Babies die. That was just how it worked out. They get sick, teething, they die, right? That's a normal thing to happen throughout the world. Okay, so if we now go on to our sentences. We're good? Oh, which screen? The screen. Oh, I see. Good. Okay, so let's look at these sentences then. So, hiya fitnatun. What does hiya mean? Well, let's pair it up, guys. Let's. She is or he is. Yeah. So here's an interesting girl's name in Arabic. Okay. Here's an interesting girl's name. There's a girl's name which is called Fatin, which means what? Yeah. So this is very interesting, right? You find it really strange. Fatin, number one, you don't put the term of uta because it could only be a female. So Fatin means she's so beautiful that she's a fitna. He's like, why on earth would you call your daughter that, right? That sounds really odd. So for them, like, that's a nice name, Fatin, right? Right? It's like, you mean like, wow, but they don't mean she's going to cause trouble, right? Or, here's a name in Arabic. It's like if you're going to translate this, like, oh, wow, I love Arabic names. What does your name mean? Nahid. It's like, oh, she has, body parts. Like, oh, I don't understand. She's like well endowed. Like, I don't understand. She has the right kind of body parts with the right kind of size. Like, really? That's a name in Arabic? So yeah, because that's a normal, natural thing. It's like, that's what you say. Inshallah, she's going to grow up and be well, have a nice form and these kind of things. That's a name, right? You might know the word Samina. What does Samina mean? Even people called Samina? That's a name, right? What does that mean? Samin means? What do you need? We can come back, okay? Samina means the plump one. You could say the fat girl. You're like, why on earth did you name your girl fat? Right? Because in the past, what? Did people eat? No. So everyone was like, feed the kids. Why do you have that culture? Feed the kids. Because people are starving. That's normal. So you want your kids to survive. They go, oh yeah, she has to get fat. Like, put them away. But that didn't even mean anything. That word, we mean, oh, fat. That's a word. That's an insult. That's not in the Jahiliyyah. They used to say, the your mum jokes. They used to say your mum's so thin, not your mum's so fat, because that was a problem. Right? That was a problem. Like, oh, she doesn't have any food. Okay, so interesting, right? Culture different. So please don't name your daughter Nahid. Anyway, so yeah, so here fitna is referring to it's not she. Okay, it is a test. Here fitna. So fitna means a test. Means to be trial and right? To be positive and negative. Right? Okay. Here it will desert hawi. So notice all these words end in a ta marbuta. Number 3. What do you notice here? Number 3. Innaha. What does inna mean? We saw this last week. Indeed. What we did is we joined the two words indeed, okay, with the word here, and they get put together innaha. Okay? These words here on the board. We had inna, which comes in the Quran all the time. Inna, which means definitely or indeed. Okay? Now we had the word hiya, which means she or she / it. Okay? We put the two words together, it becomes innaha. Okay? Innaha. Innaha, which means indeed it or indeed she. Okay, you put it together like that. Then you're going to see this a lot. Welcome to the 21st century, Abdulrazak. Okay, so inna, indeed. Innaha kalimatun. It is a kalima, which means a word, okay? And kalm means to injure somebody. How's that related? Which hurts more, words or knives? Right? You say that one word, subhanallah, right? That one word. You have to be very careful. Yes. Inna Allah, yeah, indeed Allah. So the rule is any word that comes after inna will have a fatha. That's a rule. Inna faridan mawjudun. Farid is here.
Bismillah.
That's different. These are pronouns. Pronouns don't have fatha. They don't have that check. Make sense? So words like ka, for example, innaka, innaki. Innaka means you masculine. Innaki means you feminine. That change is not because of anything. That's just the word. Normal words like Farid, Allah, normal words, they change u, a, e, and they'll change every time you put in the word, it will have that. Or inna has two words. So ha is feminine because ha is here. And inna is not, is neither nor.
Inna.
Oh yeah, his translation is better now.
Inna.
It's like, yeah, it's good to translate, but it is. Indeed, it is a word. Three words. It is. إنها it or she إنه it or he إنه إن هو means إنه إن هي okay so إنها شجرة إنها بقرة أو إن الجنة هي الجنة كان الوقت. So here goes with the word Jannah because Jannah إن هذه تذكرة. تذكرة means a reminder. Is it reminder you that it's important? Where's your proof? Where's the evidence that it's important? A reminder. Where's the evidence? A reminder. هذه تذكرة. Why don't I say هذا تذكرة? هذه جهنم. An exception? An exception to the rule. Why? Because one of these words are called the word nar, which is fire. Nar is feminine. Nar is feminine. And hellfire is a fire. So therefore, any word to do with hell is feminine. Okay? There we go. Does that even have a tendency?
Bismillah.
Does it have a tendency? No. It's not even Arabic. We'll learn later on that this words that are not Arabic. Okay, these words come from other languages and they come into Arabic and they're treated the same way. So if they had a Muhammad هذا صالح هذا يعقوب. Yaqub, why is the bomb like that? It's Hebrew. Yaqub is Hebrew, not Arabic. هذا إسماعيل, not Ismail, not Arabic. Right? Even certain words in like Sibaway, right? Scholar, right? His name is Sibaway, right? From the African. Sibaway, right? These words, they have particular ending, and they just kept them like that. There's always هذا Sibaway he, and قال ويهي, and this way he. Right? These are words that perhaps there's a certain word, a certain pronunciation in old Farsi, and when it came into Arabic, they kept it in a certain way. So anyway, that's just هذه and so Arabic existed and it borrowed words from other languages. and it sometimes makes those words Arabic, and sometimes doesn't. For example, the word in Saudi Arabia, okay, obviously today they have fields, right? There's a port in those. Is Saudi Arabia a wealthy place? Desert. There's nothing there. So they don't have a word for gold and silver, for money in Arabic. So they use the Greek word, drachma, dirham, or the Latin word, dinar, which is dinar. So there's no word for it. They don't have it, right? In the Yemenis, you know how Yemenis say, how they say bread? They say roti. Why? Because Yemen compared to India was poor. So they're trading with Yemen, trading with India all the time. They say, and then they say diyat or haita. So they were using these kind of things, right? So they're using they're using these words, they're borrowing these words. But anyway, so there's certain words that are fully borrowed, meaning they borrowed and they bring it into Arabic, and there's certain words that you have a clear sign on it that this word is originally not Arabic, right? I'll give you another example. How do you say sock in Farsi? Sock. Right. So this is a word that is Farsi that came into Arabic and then went from Arabic into Farsi. So the word is gurpa. Gurpa. Okay? So the Arabs, they didn't have socks. That wasn't a thing. It wasn't a very common thing. They conquer, the Arabs conquer Central Asia. They get exposed to these things and they get the word gurpa, which means the grave of your pie, of your foot, right? So it's the grave of your foot. So gurpa comes into Arabic, jawrab, right? And so then it goes back into Farsi, jarab, right? Or garab, or jarab, right? So it goes back into Farsi, but the word is originally Farsi. How do you know that? Because the plural, they have a certain way of making the plural differently. They don't say jawarib, but they say jawaribah. That's a sign that this word is originally not Arabic. And you find words like that. Some of the ulama, they said sijil is originally sang-gil. Sang-gil, which means stone, like clay. Sang-gil, because that's what it's like, dry clay. Wallahu a'lam. Anyway, so Jahannam is in the Bible. You're going to find that in the Bible. That's a Hebrew word, right? So these are words that come in from Hebrew. Fine. So هذه جهنم, هذه النار. This is the hellfire, or this is the fire. We don't say هذا النار. We say هذه النار. هذه سبيلي. This is my way. Okay? Sabil is also feminine as an exception. تلك أمة تا مربوطة. So it has to be with the ta marbuta. تلك نعمة, feminine. So you don't say ذلك. Sorry. You don't say, I've got it here. You don't say tilka, you don't say ذلك أمة because it's feminine. It has a ta marbuta. Right? You say tilka أمة. That is a nation, or that was a nation. Tilka ni'matun, that is a blessing, or that was a favor, that is a favor. You don't say ذلك نعمة because it's not masculine, it's feminine. هي حية فهي كالحجارة. It or they are like stones. So that's the next exception there. So this pretty easy stuff. All we're saying is ta marbuta, feminine. How are you going to use feminine? هذه here. That's it. That's all we're talking about. So let's have a look at Unit 2 workbook. Let's try and, how long do you have to Maghrib? 8:10. Let's try and finish it then. Let's try and finish Unit 2. And then we're going to do a game. If we have time. So let's try and finish Unit 2 workbook, inshaAllah ta'ala. Right, just copy out, in copy 1, just copy it out once. إنها كلمة, etc. And I have my 2 wonderful assistants as well if you need help. Fluent in Farsi, Arabic. What's the language the minions speak? Banana language as well, right? Yeah. Just copy it once. If you copy it twice, immediately deduct points. You're trying too hard, bro. So where's our young men from last week? We had, there was 2 young men. Boys. Where are the, they're not here? There was Yahya or something like that? No, it wasn't Yahya, I can't remember his name. So I'm going to put something on the board. Don't be distracted. Just finish what you're doing, inshallah. Because I'm just going to put something on the board for those people who want to know a little bit more. Okay. So if everyone's done إنها كلمة تلك أمة هذه تذكرة امرأة مؤمنة.
Why is it A and B when they're the same?
They're not. One has tashkil, one doesn't usually. Oh no, perhaps they just maybe they just copy and pasted something like that. Okay, we've done the first part. So number 1, it is space test. It is. It is a test. Easy peasy, right? Exactly the same as the previous thing. It is a cow, right?
Indeed.
Or indeed is a cow, or it is a cow. Baqara. This is Jahannam, right? I just answered that for you. Baldatun tayyibatun. What's missing there? I guess nothing. Baldat tayyibatun, a good land. Okay, number 3. That was a favor. How do I say? What's the so the word a is missing? So how are we going to say that in the Arabic? ذلك نعمة. تلك نعمة. Okay, we just lost $100. Okay, we have to do it. Inshallah, next week we're going to have teams, right? We're going to have teams. And I think we can get a fatwa. Maybe when's the next time Shaykh Anwar or Shaykh, what was his name? Shaykh Tahir Anwar is coming?
He's coming tomorrow.
Great. So we can ask him, say, can we bet on this stuff, right? So from what I understand in the Hanafi school is you can have competitions, financial competitions, in anything that is halal and useful, right? So there's with some conditions, of course. We can put our money down, right? And we hope that Suleiman is sitting next to Lady Luck, okay, on the right table, right? And make some competition, right? Okay, so the tilka ni'matun, because it is feminine, tilka, okay, not dhalika. Hey. Okay, dhalika ni'matun. This is a strange thing. Shay'un ajibun. Is this masculine or feminine? Okay, we're in California, bro. It's not a nice thing to say. Okay, okay. هذا شيء عجيب. هذا, not هذه. Right?
No.
هذا. Right? So this is a strange thing. هذا شيء عجيب, not هذه شيء عجيب. Okay? Yeah? It's clear? Not هذه, because it's not feminine. Because shay is masculine. How do I know it's masculine? Default, because I say so. Right? No, because default is shay'un is there's no ta marbuta, so therefore it is masculine. So هذا شيء, not هذه شيء. Okay, هذا شيء عجيب. Okay? Now, important in Arabic, ajib can mean good or bad, right? It can mean like the word marvelous, right? Ajib, right? So, so something can mean good, right? And it can mean something bad, right? So when we say strange, that doesn't sound good, right? It's not a nice word, strange, right? But you can say like marvelous. What I saw was marvelous, right? It was a marvel, ajib, right? Okay. Indeed, this is most definitely a strange thing. How do I say that? Inna hadha, not hadhihi. Inna hadha la shay'un ajib. This is really a strange thing. Okay? This is Jahannam. Hadhihi, feminine and not masculine. Okay? And then that is paradise. Tilkal jannatu. Okay? Okay? We have exactly okay, let's do this number 4. This is a path. That's already done for you. It is a word. Good. Yeah, because it has an L. So whenever you have an L, you cannot have an on. Okay? Whenever you have an L, you cannot have an on. Because on means a, or it's kind of like saying a, but L makes it the, so it has no. So whenever you put L, you drop the word, you drop the dhamma. Drop the tanween. Okay, it is a word. Innaha kalimatun. Okay, indeed is a word. That was a nation. Somebody else? Suleiman?
I have to read it, sir. I don't know this one, sorry.
Good. Good. Ummah is nation. How do you say mother in Arabic? Wow. Means nation. Ummah means nation. Means mother. Right? So yeah, women don't count, right? Arabic hates women, right? No, it doesn't. The house is considered feminine. The fire, I think about when you have a house, that's the main thing in the house is a fire. That's considered feminine. So all these things, so the center of your being is feminine. Rahman Rahim is connected to a woman, or a woman is connected to Rahman Rahim because she has a rahim, she has a womb. Right? So you can never ever say that Arabic is sexist or against women. Oh yeah, it is, because look, you said the default is masculine. Yeah, okay, fine. Right? That means we're unspecial, but you're special. Right? So it's a...
What two words make innaha?
Inna plus here. Yeah. Okay. What was it? This is a tree. We need from this table over here somewhere. This is a tree. Good. This is هذه شجرة. Good. Okay. And a believing woman. Imra'atun mu'minatun. Okay, good. And this says rewrite. We're going to skip that, number 5. And then number 6. A word which ends in a ta marbuta for $500 is feminine. Right? So just say I'm non-binary. Right? Okay. Write 3 words in Arabic which are feminine but do not have ta marbuta. Jahannam. You married? Don't say that when you're married. Okay? Don't say it. That's in the textbook, and let's close the textbook. خلاص. Right? Yadun, nafsun. Good. Darun. Good. Right? The next time there's an argument, whose house is this? It's like, dar, it's your house. خلاص. Feminine. Okay? It's in my name, but it's okay.
Can you find a list of these?
Yeah. So the list, the list. So let me go back. It's here. Right. So it's going to have. Here you can see these words here. feminine words that do not. So nar. What else do you have? Like um's obvious. Like a mother, of course, is feminine. Ukht, which means like if I knew what it meant, I'd be like, you know, if I say, hey, bet, like you don't know Arabic. Ukht, what do you think? Is it masculine or feminine? It's like, well, of course it's feminine. It means a sister, right? So then you have words like it says body parts that come in pairs. Okay, yadun, aynun, udhunun, qadamun. I listed 3 of them. There's one more there. And then you've got sabilun, ardun, sama'un, shamsun, harbun, jahannam, dar, nafs. I gave you about, there's just one more there, right? So it's not a long list that you're going to be thrown off about, right? It's quite easy. Similarly, a market is also feminine, right? So actually, basically think about all the essential things of life, they're all feminine, right? Okay, okay. We're on, sorry. Okay, write the English for the following. So we got to go up a little bit here. I want to go down a little bit more. Nope, I can't do that. Okay. Number 6. What is the masculine version of هذه? هذا. Yeah.
In the sentence, هذا لا شيء عجيب, what is lam?
Lam, that's called the lam of emphasis. The lam of emphasis. Okay? So I say أنا فريد. Okay? Inni Farid, that means I'm definitely Farid. Inni la Farid, I am most definitely Farid. Okay, so there's indeed and then most definitely. Okay, so you throw in that lam to make it very, very emphatic. Don't worry about it, it's kind of an extra thing. Right? That's not a fundamental thing. Okay. And then what do we have? Mercy, how do you say mercy? Rahmah, ta marbuta, right? Rahmah, ta marbuta. How do you say path or way? Sirat, which is masculine, or sabil, which is feminine. Okay. How do you say these words? Not on the list, but we have ta'ah, for example, that's obedience. Ta'ah. Is that masculine or feminine? Ibadah. Masculine or feminine? Feminine. What was the other word? Adawah. Adawa, enmity. Adawa is feminine. Okay? So these are some words, they're all feminine. So it's pretty easy class. It's like you could summarize it in 5 minutes. Default masculine. If it's not masculine, it's going to have a ta marbuta. If it's going to have ta marbuta, you're going to put tilka, hadihi, and hada. That's it. That's the whole class. Right? That's again why you can do this book by yourself. Right? I'm just here for the barakah. Okay. Quickly, there was a question. We just have a little bit of time left, so I just want to go. This is a total tangent. If you want to go to sleep, do it now. Okay, totally not relevant. So the question is, where does Arabic come from? So the question is, did Sayyidina Adam, was he taught Arabic, and was that the original language? Right? It's not an issue of aqidah. Okay, it's not an issue of aqidah. Right? So if you say yes, Arabic is the original language, and that has always been the case, and Arabic did not evolve from anything. Okay, then fine, but it's not an issue of aqidah. When we study a language, right, language is always in flux, it's always changing. Okay? English 500 years ago was not English. English 1,000 years ago, you wouldn't understand it. It doesn't exist, right? You go back and read ancient Farsi, you would not understand a single thing. Like, you won't understand a single thing, right? Go and read Sanskrit, like a few words here and there, but Sanskrit is totally different to Hindi today, right? Somebody in Greece today would not understand Plato because it's totally different language. Language is always changing. So anyway, what you can generally find is there are groups of languages, okay, like Indo-European languages, right? Like, so English has a lot of similarities with Farsi. Daughter, dukhtar, right? We say in English, or listen to this, is in German. What is it? So in Farsi, Name Dukhtari man Fatima asked, right? The name, Nam, that sounds very similar. Dukhtar, daughter. Fatima, okay, that's the word. Asked, okay? How do you say is in Latin? Est. How do you say it in German? Ist, right? So in German, meine, was it like meinen Tochter, Name meinen Tochter, Fatima ist. So it's like you could understand that. You'd be like, hey, he's speaking Farsi. No, he's speaking German. Well, which language then? Why would there be similarities between German and Farsi and these different languages and in Hindi and all these different words? Because they were once one language. About 5,000 years ago, there were the Indo-European people somewhere in the world, probably somewhere in Central Asia, and they spoke a language that evolved and spread out. And then you get the Hindi and English and Germanic language and Latin, but they're very, very close. Right, they're very, very close. So there's a group of languages called the Afro-Asiatic languages. So you can look at Berber, for example, in North Africa, ancient Egyptians, right, Chadic languages, and you look at the Semitic languages, you see a lot of similarities. Like an ancient Egyptian, Mut was death. Mot in Arabic is death. A lot of similarities, but that's a kind of a really big group of languages, okay? Then of those, you get the Semitic languages, okay? These are called the Semitic languages. Right? And the first time in history when we ever see Semitic languages is about 5,000 years ago in ancient Babylon, right? So we dug up 150 years ago, they found all these ancient, all the cuneiform, that stuff in cuneiform, and they found these ancient stuff, and they found people writing in languages in cuneiform, and they found people writing in what we call Akkadian. Okay, it's an ancient Semitic language. And they realized Akkadian is very, very similar to Arabic, but it's not really Arabic, okay? So generally speaking, scholars, they break it into 2 or 3 groups. There's another group called Elamite. Is it a third group or not? It's an issue of debate. But basically you get these 2 groups. You get Eastern Semitic and Western Semitic. So if you're going to go and study ancient Mesopotamia and you're going to read cuneiform and understand that stuff, that's a language which is very, very similar to Arabic, but it's not Arabic, right? It's a kind of different thing. Right, I was originally supposed to study that in my degree, right? And I was learning cuneiform and all that kind of stuff, right? Now you have Western Semitic, okay? And these are of 2 groups. Southern Semitic, which is the languages of ancient Sheba in Yemen, okay? And they have things that are written in the past on stones and stuff, and you can kind of read that stuff. It's difficult. And then you have Northwestern Semitic. So then you've got these cousin languages, Arabic, Hebrew, Aramaic, and Ugaritic. Okay? So if you write Arabic out in letters and you wrote Hebrew out, most words you can understand. It's almost like reading I don't know, like reading German. Like, das ist mein Hand. Like, you just said that's my hand in a funny way, right? Was ist das? Right? Did you just say what is that in a funny way? It's like, right? Wasser, it's like, yeah, water. It's like, right? It just sounds a bit different. But could you understand everything in German? No, you couldn't, right? Assalamu alaikum, right? Assalamu alaikum. Okay, so when we have when we have these different things, these are cousin languages. So it's very easy for somebody who knows Arabic to learn Hebrew, right? Somebody who learns Hebrew to learn, like if you learned those 3 languages, it wouldn't be a big deal because they're so similar. Right, they have so many words that are exactly the same, right? For a court, a place where you're going to have like a Sharia court for Jews is called Beit Din. Like Beit Din, that's like house judgment, like Yom ad-Din, a day of judgment. So you can understand half of it, right? So if you were to learn Arabic and then learn Hebrew, right, it would be pretty easy. And in fact, this is very important for people who want to read the Bible, they have to learn Arabic. Because there's lots of words that they won't know, and they don't have those words anymore, and we'll have them in Arabic. So you can actually read, you need Arabic to read the Bible, because our language preserved, theirs isn't, right? And so Aramaic, which is the language of Jesus, alayhi salam, right? That's very, very similar, right? We say Ummun Rahimatun, a merciful mother. They say Imma Rahimta, Imma Rahim. They say Rahimta. So they put the same ta marbuta, but they put an alif at the end, right? They'll say peel, and we say feel, right? Same, but it's very, very close, right? It's not difficult for somebody. You want to learn Aramaic and all that kind of stuff, right? Then it'd be like, oh, it's basically the same language. It's not a big deal, okay? And then Ugaritic doesn't really exist much, right? So you say which comes from which? Well, it's kind of like Arabic is kind of arguably the original Northwestern Semitic language, right? And so some people call it Semitic. Why do they call it Semitic? Why do you call it Arabic? Right? Why can't we call them the Arabic languages? Because they're basically Arabic, right? And so Arabic, you can say modern Arabic or classical Arabic is a thing of that original thing. But obviously people want to control it, right? So they give it a certain name, right? So you say Semite, like, dude, I am a Semite. What are you talking about? If you're from Ahl Bayt, you're a Semite. You are a descendant of Abraham, for crying out loud, right? And somebody other person isn't, right? So these are Semitic languages, okay? So we have to go to the prayer, inshallah. So that's just a thing, the extra thing. That's that, inshallah. We'll come back if we have time, inshallah. Right? We have about 10 minutes after the prayer, maybe 5 minutes. We'll just do a little game, inshallah, a vocab game, okay? So if you don't want to lose, don't come.